right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of My Life in Poland on this beautiful map, Szpakowo. Szpakowo. Let's say that now and then fine tune our pronunciation as we go through our life here in Poland. If you have been following along, this is the continuation after leaving my Saving Uncle Pete series, where we babysat my Uncle Pete's farm, if you could call it a farm. Did somebody call it an armpit? I think there was a lot of Uncle Pete hate in the previous series. What an ungrateful man he was, basically kicking me out after a year's worth of blood, sweat, and tears to grow his farm, reduce his debt, get him some sheep, like all this stuff. And then what I left with was $7,500 in cash, which is our starting seed money here on the map. I left with beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. So I left with this beautiful Fiat Agri. I don't know. I love this. I love this tractor. I love the way it looks. It's stinky and dirty and awesome. So we were able to leave with that. So $7,500. This tractor, and this awesome little Volvo over here, which I had bought on his behalf, and he was kind enough to let me take. I will explain the condition of that Volvo momentarily, but first we'll go through our finances so we can kind of set the tone here. I owe $150,000 to a nice farmer back in the United Kingdom named Walter. We befriended Walter and did a lot of work for him while we were on the map. At one point, I think he said I reminded him of his son, so he was willing to help me out with certain things. And when he knew it was time for me to move on, i.e. my Uncle Pete was coming back and I had to move, he gave me an opportunity here in Poland where he had inherited this piece of land that we are standing on from a deceased cousin. And rather than putting the land to market, he gave me the option to buy it, and because I didn't have any money, was kind enough to finance it for me. So I owe him $150,000. That's $100,000 basically for the property, and then there was an additional $50,000 that was made up of this truck, which he had kicking around, and this trailer. So we used this trailer to haul the Fiat Agri. It's roughly a 19-hour drive so a 21-hour drive if we had just gone straight from the what in real life is Comsden area, but it was Oakbridge Farm to here in Szpakowo. But instead, we took a detour through the beautiful French region of Paligny, where I met up with an old high school buddy who opened up a cheese shop there. So we did make a stop there. We promised to keep in touch too. I hadn't talked to Dave for quite a while, so that was nice to catch up. I'm not sure that I'll go to the bathroom for a while. We ate a lot of cheese, but anyways, that's a whole other story. I have these. Now, this trailer is probably useless to me now. So I was on the phone early this morning with a really nice couple that owns the local dealership. If I can remember correctly, it's Maria and Lek. They actually, funny enough, and so convenient for the story, spent time when they were younger in Canada. They had some family who had migrated to Canada, and so the two of them separately had left this area when they were younger, and then ended up going to school in Canada, not too far from me actually, and had since moved back. So they basically met at university there, and they had since moved back to their hometown, as many do. So they got married in Canada and then moved back here to take over Maria's family dealership. So I'll be heading over there later so they can give me a price on this trailer. I did manage to spend a little bit of time on the phone this morning with Lek, and he's interested. He has a wild array of used equipment for us and is constantly scouring the planet for the next deal. So we should see some money out of this. He figures it's probably like somewhere $5,000 to $7,000 depending on the condition of it. So that's not bad. We'll take that. Also, I'm going to get him to give me a number on this truck. I've never really used a truck like this in Farming Simulator. I usually just go tractor and trailer. I can't put loader arms on this truck, so you're useless to me, truck. I need something with loader arms. Anyways, we're gonna need something where we can pick things up, and this truck's not gonna do it. So I did kind of mention this to him, and he figured, yeah, he goes, yeah, maybe it's like 20 or 30 grand or something like that. So a bit of a wide range there, but. And then if you kind of do the math, if I get 30 grand for it here and I get like $6,000 or $7,000 for that trailer, we definitely overpaid for these things. But now, in Walter's defense, I mean, we paid $50,000 for the pair. But in Walter's defense, this is a completely different market here. The economy is a lot more challenging. I did have a good look at the local contract app here, and the contracts pay far less on in Szpakowo than they do back in Oakbridge. But now, just for gameplay, I do not have the contract boost or any type of contract boosting mods enabled. We're gonna, if anything, if there was a way to contract deteriorate the anti-boost the pricing, I would probably do that by 10 or 15 or 20% just to kind of make it even more difficult. I don't want to make this an easy series, but I do want to enjoy it, so it's a little contradictory. So we cover the financing. I do $150,000. Now, in order to pay that back, I have so Walter, basically knowing that I had to get on my feet here in Poland, has given me 6 months before I really have to make any kind of payment. He'll be charging me interest every month, which I think amounts to around $500. But now, as far as repayment, I have to start paying at the 6 month mark. I have to start making at least a minimum 10% per month on the balance. So if we still owe the $150,000 as of March, then I'll have to make I think that's a $15,000 payment is 10%. So that's that. Just over here, there's a bit of a gravel line here that marks the edge of our property. So if you can see the building over there through the scrub, you'll know how far our land goes, and then it sort of juts up here to the road through these woods. These trees are going to come down. I'm going to. I believe this is a proper strategy anyways, but we're going to turn this into a crop field, of which we have, I think, until end of October to put barley and oats or barley and wheat in the ground if that was something we wanted to do. So we'll kind of keep that in mind and try to hit that target. But anyways, yeah, so we got to pay Walter back by starting by March. We have $7,500. Now, a quick note on the $7,500. I did have somebody remind me in the comments that when we went to Oakbridge, we had $3,500 in our pocket. Our mother had given that to us in order to make it easier to go care for her brother's farm while he was away. And it was, so somebody had mentioned, hey, make sure you get your $3,500 when you make sure you have that also. But in all fairness, I wanted to come here. I would have come here with $0 actually, but I would have felt like a bit of a chump leaving with nothing. So I did pick a sort of an arbitrary amount of $7,500, and that's what we've come over here with. So for sure, I definitely could have upped it by another $3,500, but I didn't want to make this too easy. Also, if you were watching that series, there was anyways, we're nice little car. I wonder if we could restore that at some point. I have this issue in real life where when I see things like this, I'm like, maybe I should drag this home and one day work on it. But even though I have no skills or ability or tools to work on anything. So if you recall, at the end of the Oakbridge series, there was a small trailer that I was given the green light on from Uncle Pete, but I couldn't fit it into my sort of road train. And couldn't fit it onto the back of this truck. And actually, I noticed this when I was editing too, but it was suggested by a couple of people that I could have put this tractor inside the trailer and then put the trailer on the truck, or I could have taken the trailer that Pete gave me and taken it right to the store and just sold it when I knew that I couldn't bring it. But on the selling it, again, I didn't really want extra money to bring here. I didn't even think about putting this tractor inside it and then putting it on the trailer until I was editing the video. And then it was sort of painfully obvious that was something I could have tried. But that's okay. I'm not too worried. Now, as far as the condition, I a number of times on my trip over here, I ended up having to unload the tractor and unload the both tractors basically, and typically it was at a muddy way station or an inspection point or whatever. So these things just got filthy on the way over here. It just couldn't avoid it. So we're gonna have to pick up some kind of pressure washer or garden hose or something, just a big sponge. So that's why everything is so dirty. Now on the tractor here, just a little bit of creative liberty. I like this thing in its scraped up, paint deteriorated condition. When we bought this thing, it was brand new. It looked, we bought it used, I think, but it was in pristine condition. I think it had been fully restored. Well, I'd always rather have these things beat up. So when bringing this into the map here, I did go into the XML and give it max paint deterioration, but it has 0 hours on it and it's fully serviced and everything else. So I just like the way that looks. One last note on vehicles. So the keen eye may notice that this is a slightly different shade of brown on this tractor here, or this truck, sorry. I was utilizing, there's a mod which allows you to, when you go into a workshop, I don't think I can go in here when there's nothing there. Okay, there is actually. So do I not have it on? Maybe, I didn't activate it here. Yeah, okay. So there's a mod that allows you to put your vehicles in storage. So there'd be a little button at the bottom that says store vehicles or view storage. So what that does, I park my vehicles into the point where they show up here in the workshop. And if I hit store vehicles, the vehicles basically leave the map and go into, I guess, the mod itself, and the mod stores the vehicles for me. It records condition, dirt, fuel, serviceability, all that stuff. And then when I install a workshop in another map, then I can respawn those vehicles exactly as they had been stored. So it's actually magical. It's such a cool concept. I love it. So what I did, if you recall, there was a photo of me in France when I went to go visit my friend. So I loaded up a game save, put down a workshop trigger, unloaded or took my vehicles out of storage, got my shot, was loving life, and then anyways closed that and then deleted the game save. Well, what I didn't know is that, and it makes sense, but when you take the vehicles out of storage and put them into the game save, then they're no longer in the mod. You have to put them back in the mod before you delete the game save. So I didn't do that, and then I lost the vehicles. So it's kind of an interesting little caveat to that. So if you're using that to jump between maps, don't delete the game save unless you've either put the vehicles back in storage or respawn them somewhere else, because you will lose them. So I did my best to match the color, but then when I went back and looked, I realized I was quite off. But anyways, it may not bother us for long, because if the price is right on this truck and we have an option to move it, then we will. Because I do need, now here we'll jump one more time over here. This property here, I do need to clear it out. Now, I think what I'm going to do with these trees, there is a sawmill on the map, but this lot is sort of, so this map has a combination. There's forestry areas on this map that have the good trees, and then there's also areas that have these types of trees that are just way more challenging. So a lot of these leafy trees are great for wood chips. So I think what we're going to do, there's actually a ridiculously inexpensive wood chipper. It's pretty basic and a little frustrating, but it works. So if we can, I think it's like $13,000. So if we can get ourselves this wood chipper and a trailer, then we can pretty much just chunk up all these trees, hand bomb them into the wood chipper, and be done with it. And I like that idea better than cutting these up and trying to take them to the sawmill. So I think that's what we're going to do. We have this piece of land which has these trees on it that we can chip up and get rid of. And then we also have one more piece of land that I'm going to show you on the way over to the dealership to meet Lek and Maria and see what they'll give us for all of our stuff. But okay, so as far as the property here, so I showed you where it sort of spans. We're going to get rid of all these trees and then mow this up and then get a field put in. That's a workshop right there. That's our house. This is our garage. Now, there's a few things we're going to have to get cleaned up here. It is a little bit grungy. I noticed there's some construction garbage and an engine hoist, which we'll have to deal with. There's some old, I don't know what's in this barrel over here, but there's definitely something in it. Some paint cans, whatever. There's just some general trash, construction garbage. Over here we have a greenhouse. So I've never used these little greenhouses, so I don't really know what to expect here, but we just have to add water, and then we're going to grow lettuce in here and see what happens. And then I'll kind of also determine, it always bothers me when I mean, we're putting things into a logistics center on New Frontier, and essentially the produce stays there until we sell it once a year. I don't know that that's necessarily realistic. So, but it is the way it works in the game here. So we may try to sell our lettuce off more often, maybe monthly or bi-monthly or whatever, just so we're not stockpiling the leafy greens only to have them go bad on us. But anyways, we'll figure that out. So what I need to get is I need to get the wood chipper. So we'll have to get a wood chipper. We'll have to get a trailer of some sort that, like, we can put the wood chipper on the back of the Fiat here. We can tow a trailer behind the wood chipper, but I guess I don't need anything with loader arms immediately. But I think for right now we're going to take this truck and we'll bring that trailer over to meet Lek and Maria, and then we'll see what kind of money we're working with here. So, but first we're going to go, oh, sorry. The other thing is they have a forklift. So we're going to use that forklift to get this tractor off the back of this truck. So just a side note in regards to used vehicles or used equipment and everything, I had intended to play this with financing on because I wanted the option to be able to finance used vehicles. I'm not going to use leasing because leasing is sort of like a glorified renting right now. There's no option to really own the vehicle. If lease-to-own comes back for FS25, then we'll probably put that in and be able to use that for new vehicles. So I wanted to use financing. This is maybe the 5th attempt to get this series started. First I couldn't find a good flow to begin with, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but sometimes I'll record a video like 3 or 4 times just before I actually like how things work. And this is I'd say this is the 5th time that I've started this anyway. So the first couple of times were due to just lack of flow, and I didn't really like the way things were going. But then the game started crashing, and I don't know what to blame it on. I could only go back and look at what I've had problems with in the past, and one of those mods that I had problems with in the past was financing. So I got rid of the financing mod. If you know that it's bulletproof, let me know, and maybe we can bring financing back into this. But anyways, that was an issue for me. I had added a couple of, one in particular off mod hub mods, I guess. Tractor. I got rid of that, thinking that, and basically I had even in the last gameplay that crashed. Not only did I buy this tractor, but I also financed it. So and then shortly after, my game just crashed. So anyways, I'm not looking to be frustrated. I'm just looking to play the game. So I don't know whether it's a map thing that I'm crashing or it's a mod conflict or what, but we're gonna give this another crack. And if you don't ever see a Szpakowo series come to life on the channel, it's because we crashed again and I just got sick of it and we went somewhere else. Maybe we ended up staying in Paligny to buy that cheese shop off my buddy. Who knows, right? Anyways, okay, so this is the second piece of land that we have. This is basically, I mean, you can see the difference in these two fields here. We have a little bit of a grass field right here. Obviously, we have some additional scrub grass. It looks like there was a building here at one point, but I mean, based on the ground coverage here, but there's nothing here now. And then this piece of property goes right to the back. There's a creek at the back here. So we do have a few trees on the property. We do have some power lines also, but we do have like a little cluster of trees back here. So if we're chipping up some trees and we want to maximize our potential farming space, then we can attack these trees back here. That is our prerogative. We don't have the same restrictions here in Szpakowo that we had in Comsden or Oakbridge. We don't have the local council to breathing down our neck. We can kind of do whatever we want here, which is awesome. We don't have to really adhere to much. The bylaws are very loose, and we can do whatever the hell we want, just like we like it. Anyways, so that's our other piece of land. So in regards to land purchases, this will be my first attempt at employing a layer of gameplay that I've talked about numerous times but have never actually tried. So what we're going to do each month, I have a like a random number picker wheel set up with 253 numbers on it, numbers 1 to 253. Now I've taken out the 2 pieces of property that we own, so there's actually 251 total possible properties on this wheel. So at the beginning of every month, we're going to spin the wheel to find out what 3 properties have come up for sale that month in the real estate market here locally. Things so the economy is tough here. We're on hard economy. The real estate market is tight. Not a lot of properties come up for sale, and it fluctuates from month to month by around 10%, whether it's an up or down market. So at the beginning of every month, we're going to spin the wheel to figure out what 3 properties we could potentially buy if we wanted. Those properties will remain for sale for that month, and after that month is done, we'll spin again. So if the property comes up again, perfect. If the property does not, then we'll have to look at whatever the new properties are. So that will keep us from being able to just buy unless they come up for sale and we have the money, we can't just go and purchase whatever land we want. In the past, talking about this concept, a couple of people have said, well, you know, if you went and knocked on somebody's door and offered them 2 times the market value for their house, you know, who wouldn't take that? Well, yes, true, I agree. And if a mod was ever built, it probably would make sense that you could go and at any time purchase a piece of property, like a buy now option maybe, where it's 2 times the price. In fairness, in reality, like let's say I had my grandpa's farm and I had land and that property was never going to leave the family. Well, it wouldn't matter if you came and offered me 2 times the market value for it. I'm not taking it because that's my family's land. So I'm not going to use that as an option for us. We're only going to use the random number selector and then we're going to flip a coin also to determine whether we're in an up or down market. So beginning of each month, we flip a coin, we spin the wheel, we figure out what properties are for sale. We flip a coin to see whether we're up or down 10%. If it's an up market, so heads is up. If it's an up market, then we got to pay a 10% premium. If it's a down market, we get a 10% rebate after we make the purchase. So that's we're gonna do that and see how it goes. I don't know what that's gonna do, but we'll find out. So we're here at the store. I'm gonna just back up to the door here. I'm gonna go in and find Maria and Lek, and I'm gonna get a price on this. I also need to. Well, I think we're going to sell this trailer regardless. Hopefully that gives me enough money to buy the wood chipper and a chainsaw. And then we'll get the tractor off and then we'll head back. I need a chainsaw. We may be selling this truck now. But anyways, let me see what I can get for it. I'd like some cash, really. That's a nice little store they got here. Oh, that must be Lek. Howdy. All right, so talking to Lek, here's what we can do as far as our current setup is concerned. So we'll get $6,700 for the trailer if we don't paint it. But honestly, for the few $100s we get, I'm not going to bother painting it. So let's just take the money. And we can see $30,700 here for this truck. So if I sell this truck right now, I would be able to afford the wood chipper and a chainsaw, and we can find ourselves a small trailer to put the wood chips in. We can then start to sell the wood chips, generate some cash. Now, wood chip pricing is best in January, if I can remember correctly, but we'd start selling the wood chips now. And yeah, anyways, whatever, we'll go from there, I guess. But so if I sell this, I don't have the capacity to. Well, I'd have a trailer, but I wouldn't have like any kind of flatbed to carry anything there. So we'd have to think about that. But trailers are cheap. Now I can't sell this until we get the Volvo off. So bear with me a second. I'm going to go get the Volvo off, and then we'll sell this. I think just so we have the cash. So Lex said, "Yeah, go for it. You look like a smart guy. You can use the forklift, and as long as we know, just you can use it whenever you want." I'm like, I think. They like the fact that I'm a Canadian in town here, I guess. I don't know what it is. We were trying to figure out if we knew any of the same people since we sort of spent a lot of time in the same area, but so far we haven't found any connections. Alright, so let's hope this works as well as it did on Oak Bridge. The weight for this tractor seemed to be solely at the front. Oh, life is good. It's not the smoothest to put down. That's just me using a mouse and not having enough desk space or long enough arms. Alright, we'll just fire this back there for them. Probably want to lower the forks so Maria doesn't come out in the shop and bang her shins. That would suck. And I'd probably get blamed for it. Okay, well, let's get a... yes, okay, we can do that. So, oh, there's something else we need here. So Lex got a sort of custom barrel water tank. So we're going to use that for to get some water from there's a pond just across the road. He was saying I can grab some water for our greenhouse. We want a trailer and we want a wood chipper. All right. Well, okay, so now we're paying for some vehicles that we no longer have. I mean, the smart thing would be to just take the money we just earned and put it down on the money that we owe Walter, but we're not going to do that. We're going to just see what we can do here. So I'm going to head in. I'm going to purchase, I guess what I'll do, I'm going to purchase the water tank, and then we'll take that back over to the yard, put some water in our greenhouse, and then we'll come back over here maybe with the Fiat and grab a trailer and the wood chipper. All right, $1,700 later, there is our barrel. I think we'll do a mix of first person and third person driving on this map. I really like the views that I get in third person. Like, I like to sort of be able to pan back and see what's going on. But I don't think you can have a tractor like this and not drive in first person. This is the best. Look at our brake pedal. This is a little tiny piece of metal that sticks out there. But yeah, I love maps like this in first person on a little tractor like this. So Lex got a collection of old tractors like this for sale, and it's all I could do not to ask him how much. There's an old Zedor there. He's got an old John Deere. There's an old McCormick, maybe? I don't even know what it was, but he's got some really cool stuff. All right, if we remember on Oak Bridge, this tractor does not go backwards quickly, which is probably cool. If you're backing up to a pond, you don't want to go quickly. You want to go correctly. Whoa. Yeah, so that's handy because those trees over there, that's basically our land is right on the other side of that. So if we need water, we just pop over here. Now we do have the creek right behind us. We could probably get water out of that too, I guess. Well, so we'll get the water into the greenhouse, and then we'll park this, and maybe before we run over in the Fiat to grab the wood chipper and the chainsaw and the trailer, we'll check the real estate market and see what properties are for sale. We don't have a lot of money, and we're probably not in a good position to purchase anything, but this is now, so yeah, so real estate now is more of a timing thing, really. So if we don't check every month, we may miss an opportunity to purchase something that would really help us. And if we don't buy it, maybe it never comes up again, because I mean, it is sort of a random spin, right? Where's the dump trigger? Oh, do you see it right there? That's like one tap. The dump point has like a one tap threshold. All right, so let's activate the lettuce. Beauty, mate. Okay, well, I guess we'll just jam this tank into the shed for now, because we do have shed space. I don't think that as we get things like, you know, cedars and different things, we'll probably not put this tank into the shed, because we'll probably use it for anything that has wiring or electronics or whatever. Probably should be in the shed versus just an old barrel. But anyways, for now, just to keep things organized, we'll put that in there. Gotta try to limit the amount of times I need to back this thing up. Okay, yeah, I love that tractor. That thing's amazing. And would I want maybe 2 or 3 other small tractors? Yeah, definitely. But do I have the money right now? No. Alright, we'll just close. Hello, beast. We're definitely in need of a cleaning here. Okay, I'm going to head in and we're going to bring up the app for real estate and we're going to see what's available here. All right, I'm basically just screen recording my phone here. I have the Google coin flip app, I guess, or whatever feature up here. So let's flip right now and see whether we're heads or tails. Is it an up market or a down market? It's a down market. So if we did see a piece of land we wanted, we would purchase it and then we'd calculate 10% and then give ourselves back the money. All right, so here I have 253 pieces of land, but it is going to omit 2 pieces that we already own from the results. So let's spin 3 times and then we'll check out what the properties are. It's not the fastest spin, is it? All right, 176. If the same property shows up again, then I'm not going to remove the properties as we spin them unless I buy them. But if I spin 176 again, then I'll just respin. All right, 137. And 252. All right. It's kind of funny because there's only 253 pieces of land on the entire map. But okay, let's quickly look at the real estate map here and see, aka the PDA, and we'll see what those properties are. All right, for reference, here is the PDA. So our land with our home is sort of right up here, kind of near the middle-ish. The corner lot that we have is right here. So just for reference, now 176 is actually a wood lot down over here for $55,000. So almost $56,000. Now, I'm not going to visit it right now because we don't have $56,000 to spend. But if for whatever reason our wood chips generate some cash, it might not be a bad idea when we do have these wood lots, if we have the opportunity to buy them, to buy them and cut the wood, because that's typically you can make more than what you paid by cutting down the wood, cutting down the trees. That's it, cutting down the wood. Okay, so we're not going to buy that right now, but that is pretty good. It's a little over an acre for $56,000 basically. So 137 is a field that is just up behind the dealership. Yeah, that's 5 acres for $128,000, so that doesn't even matter. We're not going to look at that. And 252 is $300,000, and to me that kind of looks like a BGA. So we're not even going to bother going to look because I don't have $300,000. So the only thing that was actually kind of interesting in this month's real estate is this for $56,000. Now we do get to take, I guess, what would that be? $5,600 we'd get back. So it's basically like $50,000 that we'd end up paying for this piece of land here. So that's actually not bad. It's a little ways away from where we are, but if we're over there just basically processing the wood and then, potentially turning that into something else, then that's kind of cool. The cool thing about this map is there's a huge range. Like there's $400,000 and $500,000 fields and there's a $12,000 field right there. For 12 grand, we're not really getting a lot, but it's still good. I don't know if you noticed, but like, this is where the pond was. So we drove down this little road and we got water right here. There was a little grass field right on the side of it. So there's a $17,000 grass field. Super cheap, but also not very big. Let's go see a lek about a wood chipper and a trailer and a chainsaw. And maybe while we're there, they wouldn't mind washing this. I don't know if he's got anything over there. We should probably look at maybe what the cheapest pressure washer is if he's got something in stock. Because this thing is dirty. I thought it was pretty funny in the Saving Uncle Pete episode where we discovered that Lavani, which is what seems to show up on the windshield. From what I understand, in multiple language, means variations of "wash me." Here in Canada, if you saw something super dirty, you may just use your finger to write the words "wash me" into the dirt, of which I always had to remind my kids, don't do that on paint because you're just going to scratch the paint. But so I guess that's the equivalent of Lavani, and I'm probably mispronouncing that in some form anyways, but that is a cool little thing that they've baked into this tractor. All right, just looking at trailers here. Oh, like, look at this. Here's my problem. When I come in here, I see things like this, and that's all I want to look at. So Lek has a fantastic selection of used trailers here. So I think we're going to pick something up used. He doesn't have any used wood chippers, unfortunately, and no used chainsaws. But so we have stuff like this, holds 10,000 liters, and even has like a little spout on the side of it. But so there's that one actually for $3,800. But if we come down, I'll show you a little bit better option. But if we were at a little slightly different stage in life here, look at this McCormick right there. He's got some really nice tipper trailers. Like here's a Brantner, holds 22,000 liters for 16. Like that's a good price. It's like a $35, almost $40,000 trailer. This is enticing, this bale wrapper or this baler. We are going to be obviously cutting the lawn before we do anything, so we may want something like that. Whether we can afford it is a different story. This is a mobile washer, but I think I can do better than $4,800. I do want to wash our vehicles. Yes, please. I love this tractor. Various other implements. 12 grand, carries 22,000. This is interesting here. We could pick, we don't have to bale our grass. We could pick it up loose, but I think we'll do bales versus loose grass. But then that would mean we'd need a way to pick our bales up. There's an option in here that holds less and is far cheaper. And I think that's what we're going to end up going with right now just to get ourselves rolling. I just want to be super cheap at the beginning here and watch my cash flow. There, look at it. It's $2,300. Lek will paint the rims for us. Oh, that's funny. There. No charge paint job. The wheel setup. What? Yeah, we want the free wheels. Oh, that's not funny. So we don't get charged for the full paint jobs, but we do get charged $200 for painting the rims. All right, so for $2,500 we can get this nice little beater. Trailer holds 10,000 liters. It will allow us to get going. We're going to save at least $7,500 over some of the bigger trailers. For chainsaws, I'm going to get the Husky. Okay, now while awkward as this Arpal AM200TR-K wood chipper is, it does work. So I got to give it that. So we're going to, on our early stages here where we're poor, we're going to do this. I believe the main color is the color of this conveyor belt, which I can't see why we'd want it any other color than black. Sorry, I was confused why I saw leasing there, but then I realized I'm a new product here. All right, Lek, thanks, man. I will see you later. I'll shut your doors for you there. So anyways, yeah, so we have ourselves a setup here now. So we can actually put the wood chipper on the back of the Fiat and then tow the trailer with it, because it does have a trailer hitch. Actually, what I think it's set up for is so that way you can tow it and the trailer at the same time. But I tried unfolding this wood chipper with the trailer on, and it just smashes into the trailer, so it's not really a good option for us. But all right, so and it says in the listing that we can transport wood chips with this trailer. So let's hope that that's actually reality and I didn't just make a mistake. But yeah, I like what I see, and we've still got $26,000. So we came here with $7,500. We're now down a trailer and a truck, but we're up wood chipper, water tank, and a chainsaw, and this trailer. So that's good. Yeah, see, I stuff like this, I kind of feel like I as much as I love driving in cab, I also really like the scenery So we'll be doing some of this. I kind of had no choice when we were on the roads in Oak Ridge because the tree, the canopy was so, like, it just basically covered the road. So everywhere I went, I had to drive in first person because it just was so hard to see otherwise. Okay, well, we might as well just take this right into our field. We'll these trees over here by the, no, what am I talking about? We're gonna get rid of every tree. We're gonna take every tree down on our yard. I was gonna say maybe I should spare these trees for now, but you know what? Screw it. Let's take everything down because if we can maximize the field that we put in, then if we can get to that point, hopefully we get to that point. But yeah, if we can maximize that, then I think we're good. Okay, so let's do this. Let's disconnect the trailer. There we go. We can raise that. I have a few things happening here. I have tractor doors opening. All right, so while I did mention this was awkward, I did notice that while using it, the tractor seems to move a little bit. So we're going to have to struggle through this, I think, and reset it a few times. So let's just give this a test. I just sort of de-limbed it for the most part. Normally I can just run down the side of it and it's really easy, but anyways. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, that's 440 liters. So as you can see, this is probably going to be a little bit tedious, but it will definitely do the trick. Where was was Maz a Polish map? We've done this before where we had tons of, we chipped the world. I think we had like 2 million liters of wood chips in storage at one point on a gameplay in FS22. Where is this? I hate this for gameplay, like cutting trees down and trying to, whether you're doing wood chips or whether you're doing, oh yeah, let's see. We've already moved. I don't know how we can fix that, but we definitely don't want to move. Did I drop the piece of wood here? No, it's in the wood. So the other thing with this wood chipper, it has a little bit of a capacity from what I understand. So if you happen to feed it more than what the trailer can hold and you don't realize, then it'll basically just start storing the wood chips. I'm not a big fan of, it seems like in this game, it's sort of like a curse of super strength maybe, because I swear, when you pick up a few things, like you can see the hand stays on the screen there. And anyways, like I'm not using super strength in this series. It looks like I do have the minimum amount that I can pick up set to 200 kilograms, which I don't. I'd rather have less, but anyways, we have that. But yeah, it seems to be. Now when I go to try to pick up a piece, so, well, okay, I'll cut a piece, but it kind of resets and you can't pick anything up. So the goal of this series will be to, kind of like, so on the Saving Uncle Pete series, our goal was basically to maintain his farm until he got back after a year of wherever he was. We did find out eventually that he was in witness protection. So the goal, and our goal was to sort of maintain his farm and then, I don't know, make sure we pay off some of his debt and then put him in a better position when he returned than when he left. So in this case here, our goal, our primary goal is to get Walter paid off because I don't want to have him coming to collect. And then I'd like to generate enough cash so that way when there's an opportunity, perhaps, we'll see how our life goes in Poland here. I mean, Maria's already told me that I should meet her sister, so that's interesting. Being a single guy in a country like this, everyone wants to hook you up, I guess. But anyway, so I'm sure. I guess I'll meet her sister at some point. But you know, presumably I will build a farm, build some bankroll, and then move back to Canada at some point. At which point maybe I can buy an old family farm or something like that. But anyways, yeah. So I don't have a specific time goal. I do have we need to get this loan paid off goal, and I do want to generate some cash, so we're in a spot where we could we could eventually maybe move on. So we got 8,000 liters in there now. That was okay, we're not quite done here with this tree. So if I remember correctly, I think wood chips are they $200 per 1,000 liters? I can't remember. So that would mean every trailer is worth about $2,000, I guess. Now, if I had to take that tree and hand bomb it onto a trailer and go sell it, I might make $500. So I think we'll be up. If I remember correctly, wood chips multiply the amount of wood. These trees are just going to get deleted. Yeah, these trees are pretty light. I think these trees are deceiving because when you go to delimb them, they become quite a bit shorter. Yeah. And there's not much weight to them. So I guess the trick now is I got to generate enough money so I can buy myself in a perfect world, I'll be able to mow the grass. Maybe what I do is I mow the grass and then I leave the grass. Actually, you know what? Sorry. Maybe what I do is I not mow the grass. So from what I learned on somewhere that if I cultivate and make a field here where there's grass, I think I'm going to get a fertilizer state, right? Does that work with map grass too? Okay, 10,000 liters. So there's a bunch of features on this tractor that are that you can control, and when I go to raise or lower this wood chipper conveyor belts, they seem to all move. Okay, that's good news that I can actually drop it while it's unfolded like that. See what I mean? It's a bit of an awkward thing, but it works really well, and it was inexpensive, so that's good. All right, so let me just go check to see where the best price is. I think I know of 2 sell points. All right, I guess there's 3 sell points, but one of them I think is the train maybe. So Derek, Katie, where is this Katie sell point? Okay, so she is on her way out of town and not too much further than Derek. So she pays slightly more. Yeah, so here's the reality of wood chips. We're currently at around $200, but in January, wood chips are worth $500. So, I mean, for right now, we're basically selling wood chips in order to generate some cash so we can get some implements for the farm. But eventually, I think what we'd like to do is store our wood chips and sell them in January. I think that's probably going to be a good plan for us because we're essentially, this tractor or trailer load is worth like $2,000 right now, but it's worth $5,000 in January, so it's a big difference. But what a setup, man. I'm just going to save this quickly because the last crash I had was basically taking a load of cut up wood to the sell point, and I was basically making a right here when everything froze and crashed. So we made it. Sometimes when you experience something traumatic like that, you protect yourself the next time. Hopefully you remember to protect yourself the next time. But anyways, as we're driving here, we can kind of look around and you can see like all the small fields. Like there's a little grass field off to the right-hand side here. You know, there's just small fields peppered all over the place, which is why I think that real estate concept works well here, because there's a number of small fields. So at any given time, you could literally purchase up 3 pieces of property, and they'd be fairly inexpensive. Eventually, as those properties start to connect, like they're adjacent to each other, then you can expand your fields and make them larger. But what this really does is stop me from just being able to purchase 4 or 5 fields immediately and you know, amalgamate them and you know, it's just going to make it that much more challenging, I think. I'm liking the look of the setup we got here. Alright, so I think if I remember correctly, there's an intersection up here, so we'll make a right and then, or perhaps we drive straight into that. There's like a business or something right here on the intersection. Yeah, it looks like we maybe pull right into that business. I believe that may or may not be Katie standing up there beside the building. Let's try not to get smoked here on the main highway. Alright, let's figure out how this trailer works. I don't know whether I can just dump out the bottom. Oh yeah, okay, there's a trigger right there. Okay, so it's a little bit of a side dump there. That's cool. I'll have to remember that, so it dumps out the right side. And just like that, we're making money, kids. Let's see if I can loop around here. Hopefully we can. I completely respect the map maker and the way they have set things up, because these all the decorations, all the textures and everything are basically the same way I would put together a farm or a store or whatever. So if I ever make a map, it'll probably be decorated similar to what you see on this one here. Alright, we're just getting back closer to our farm here. So I'm driving and I'm thinking, you know what I'm going to do here? For the risk of going too long in this episode, we're going to call this here. And what I'm going to do is I will continue to work away at clearing our yard. I think I've said in the past, I don't know that that's necessarily wood chipping and cutting trees and carrying pieces of wood or make for the best TV. So what I'm going to do is get this lot cleared up, and then when we get back together, I will hopefully have some cash, and we'll. So my plan is to probably sell everything that we chip here and not store any of it, and then as we pick up some of these maybe woodlots as we go, perhaps we can store the wood chips for a January sell-off there. But yeah, I think right now what I'm going to do is I'll chip up all the wood that's on our lot here, and then when we get back together again shortly, we'll make a decision on what we want to do with the yard, whether we want to mow it and perhaps take the grass off, or whether we want to you know, try to get some fertilizer out of it by not mowing it. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll leave this here. So I appreciate you joining me in Poland here in Szpakowo on my life in Poland. I think it's actually going to be quite. I feel like we've sort of settled in here a little bit. We've got a bit of a stride and have a bit of direction. We'll see what kind of opportunities pop up. I'm curious. We'll probably rejoin in the month of September still, in the second day of September if we get one. I say if we get one because, you know, you start your gameplay the game starts in August. I set it to 2 days per month, and then I think that means oh yeah, see there's wood chips already in here. I think that means that we get, we'll get a second day in September, I think is what that means. We're trying to figure out what I'm talking about here. But anyways, yeah, I think we'll leave that there, and we'll be back to make some decisions and do some dang farming, you know. I'll figure out why I can't pick things up, even though it's well within the limits. And yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully things work out and we don't hit too many quirks. But all right, guys. So I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think about the new series, and if you have any ideas, hit me up. But beyond that, I will see you later. Thanks.